So we're starting 3.7, which is our system of equations, which means that we're going to be graphing more than one equation. So just as a recap, we talked about how to graph our lines from slope-intercept form, which is our y equals mx plus b, where we identify our m as our slope and our b as our y-intercept to graph our lines. With our systems, we're graphing two lines on the same graph. And what we're looking for is how to solve these systems or find a solution of them, which can happen in three different ways. So first we have to graph each of these linear equations and look for one of the three things. We can look for intersecting lines, which means that our system has one solution. Parallel lines, which means we have no solution. And a way to know that we'll have parallel lines is by looking at the equation and it having the same slope. And our last one is overlapping lines, which is our infinitely many solutions. And by looking at our equations, they would have the same slope and the same y-intercept. And just like when we do our regular equations and solve them, and we have different types of solutions, there is a way that we can check to see if it is a true solution or not. And by doing that, we take a coordinate point that would exist on the line and plug it into each of these systems equations and see if it works. So let's look at one of these examples. So from our textbook, example 1, we have two equations. And what we would do is we would graph each one. So in this case, I start with this red one, my negative 2x minus 3. I can see that my slope is negative 2. My y-intercept is negative 3. So starting at my y-intercept of negative 3, we plot that point first. Using our slope, I can go down 2 and over 1, and we can go backwards by going up 2 and back 1 until we can create our straight line. Once we have our first line, we graph our second line, which you can see here in blue, is that 2x plus 5. My slope is a positive 2. My y-intercept is a positive 5. So again, we start our y-intercept. We notice we can't go up 2 and over 1, so we can use our trick of going backwards to find more points. And once we graph these lines, we notice that they are intersecting. They are touching at one point. And in particular, they're intersecting at this coordinate point of negative 2, 1. And we call this a solution. And to determine if it works or not, what we do is we take that x value of negative 2 and my y value of 1, and we plug it into each of these equations and just simplify and hope that it makes a true statement. Another example, this is taken from our textbook, example 4. Again, we're given two equations. We want to graph our first one and our second one. In this case, what ends up happening when I graph my two lines, I notice that I have parallel lines. And because my lines are not touching nor will ever touch, we can't say that there is a solution for this because it does not share any points. And my last example here is from our textbook again, example 5, where we want to graph our equations. Now remember, when we're graphing our equations, we always want to check that it's in our slope-intercept form, which is that y equals mx plus b. And if it's not, we need to rewrite it. So we do notice that in this case, my first equation is in slope-intercept, but my second, we would have to fix by getting that y by itself. So we can do that by adding a 3 to both sides and get y equals 2x plus 1. And now what we notice when we go to graph this, that both of my equations end up being the same and they end up overlapping each other. So any point that exists on this line, if we were to plug into both of my equations, it would always work. So we would call this infinitely many solutions. So let's look at 3 more examples going step by step now if we're still stuck. So we're given a system, we're given two equations, and what we want to do is graph one equation at a time. So starting with my one in red, I notice that I have it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to identify my slope, which is a positive 3, or 3 over 1, which tells me we're going to go up 3 and over 1. And my b, my y-intercept, is at -2. So my -2 is the first point I'm going to graph, which again, since it's my y-intercept, should be on my y-axis. And using my slope, I'm going to go up 3 and over 1. I can do it again. I notice I'm out of room, so I'm going to check to see if I can go backwards, which I end up at the very bottom. And then I can go in and make my line. It's on the bigger side, but that's okay. We include our arrows and we make sure that our line extends across our whole graph. Now we move on to our second line here. So again, we notice it's in slope-intercept form. So my slope is 1 or 1 over 1. And again, it's positive, so we're going up. And my y-intercept is 1. So we can plot our point at y is 1. And using my slope, I can go up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. We could even go backwards, go down and back. And what ends up happening now is when I go in and make this line, I notice that my line is intersecting my other line. There's one spot that it's touching, which is roughly at 1.5 and 2.5. And this is what we would call our solution. Let's look at another one. So again, we have a system. We start with one equation. This time my red one, I notice it's in slope-intercept. My slope is that positive 1 over 4, telling me to go up and over. And my b is -1, so we can plot our first point at -1 on my y-axis. Going up 1 and over 4, I can plot 1, and I can go backwards. We can move on to our second line and see what type of solution we get. Now, I noticed that it looks like my slope-intercept form, but we are missing a b. Remember, when we don't see a number in place of our b, our y-intercept is actually just 0. So looking at our slope, we have the same slope and a y-intercept of 0, or in this case, the origin. So I can go up 1 and over 4, down 1 and over 4, and we notice that we end up having a set of parallel lines. So this would be a no solution because it doesn't share any points. And remember, there's a trick to be able to identify when this is going to happen. If we look back at our equations, our slopes being exactly the same tell us that our lines will be changing the same exact way. So it's almost as if the red one will never catch up to the blue one or vice versa, and they'll never cross each other. And our last one here, we have our red equation. We see it's in slope-intercept, so I can pick out my slope of +3 or 3 over 1. My y-intercept is -2, so I can use that to graph. I can go up 3 over 1. I can go down and back. Make a nice line through it. And remember, we should be using our rulers for our lines. Now, with my second one here, we notice that it's not in our slope-intercept form. We need to get that y by itself. So remember, to do that, we're going to move whatever is keeping it from being alone. In this case, it's a -2x. So I'm going to add that to both sides and make sure we're combining it with its like term. In this case, there is an x. So we're able to add those together and get y equals, that's a 1x, so a 3x minus 2. And what we end up noticing perhaps is that we have the same slope the same y-intercept. So when we go to graph this, we end up with the same exact points. So that's the same exact line. So we call this infinitely many because it shares everything.